I want to welcome to the program Reverend Shaun Harrison, who is the CEO of Operation Project Go, Project Gang Out in Boston, Massachusetts. And I didn't know anything at all about Reverend Harrison until I was at the Gun Owners Action League Summer Banquet on Saturday night, and Reverend Harrison gave the invocation. And Jim Wallace, the executive director of the Gun Owners Action League, talked a little bit about Reverend Harrison, excuse me, the work that he does and the opposition that he has received. Reverend Harrison, thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program tonight. It is a real pleasure having you on the show.
I'm happy to be on it. Thank you for inviting me.
You bet. First of all, let's talk about Operation Project Go or Project Gang Out. This has been around since 2007. What's your mission?
Well, it started off at Youth in Crisis Ministry back in 2000. Then I turned it over to another young man that was working with me, and then I started 2007 Operation Project Go, which really deal with at-risk youth that's involved with the court system or DYS or DSS. And my job is to offer services to them: anger management, substance abuse, community service, job readiness, and try to actually find them a job and keep them out of trouble.
So in other words, you deal with people, not inanimate objects.
Yes.
Okay. And this has gotten you, I don't want to say it's gotten you in trouble, but it certainly hasn't made you too many friends in Boston, right?
It hasn't. I met Don Casa 6 years ago, and we was working together with Nancy Robinson, but she didn't really want to, come to any common ground with her way or the highway, so we left. And I stuck with Don.
Now, Don is a board member with the Gun Owners Action League. Who's Nancy Robinson?
She is president of Citizen for Safety. Where did the guns come from?
Ah, okay.
And we was really trying to explain, I tried to explain to you cannot come into the inner city and try to establish something and you don't know anything about the city or about the youth in this city or even the crimes in the city.
Right.
And you can't blame an organization for the crime that's going on in my city because it's not the NRA or the goals that's causing the crime in our city or for kids to pick up guns and kill each other. And I said, hurt people. So you got to understand the facts that you can't blame an individual or an organization for the crime in my city.
That's a fairly stunning statement, Reverend. Hurt people. And you look at the individuals who are joining gangs. I remember talking with a retired L.A. gang sergeant a while ago, and he was talking about the anti-gang programs that were in the schools in Los Angeles, and he was bemoaning the fact that these anti-gang programs started in middle school, and he said by that time it's too late. He said we've got to start this early because, in a lot of cases you're talking about trying to reach kids who their parents are gang members, their grandparents are gang members, their siblings are gang members, and if you want to break them out of that cycle, you got to start when they're 5 years old. You got to start, as soon as you can.
I mean, you have to. And what inspired me was Don coming to a community center with Eddie Eagle and really bring it to the young kids there that really love the video. They love the interaction with Eddie the Eagle. And they got a lot out of it. And I think until we educate inner city kids about guns, and about gun violence, they'll continue to do this. It's like the politicians, the mayor, and the governor does not want a program that works in educating kids about guns really to be in our school or community centers or even in our community because they themselves feel like, well, if it wasn't for the NRA or goals, we would not be dealing with all these crimes that's going on. But once again, if you look at it, it's criminals that have getting hold of these guns. And again, it's hurt people that hurt people. If you educate young people on the seriousness of guns and you educate them they will begin to, and I love the programs that they have. That we don't have in the city for our kids. The pistol tournaments, the rifle tournaments, and when I was at the banquet, I've seen the kids have so much fun, and I'm thinking why we don't have it in the city is because people are so much against what you all stand for.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest problems. I'm a gold member.
Yeah.
And I'm eventually going to be a National Rifleman Association member as well. My take on it is that we don't need any more gun laws. We get enough. And they can't enforce the ones they got. And second, I don't think that some of the rep or even the mayor or the governor really understand gun laws at all anyway.
Yeah.
And more gun laws is not going to stop the violence in my city.
Well, you were actually, as I understand it, tell me if I get anything wrong here, but you were basically told disassociate yourself from the Gun Owners Action League, disassociate yourself from these gun owners, or else what? Your funding will be in jeopardy.
Well, see, I applied for funding before, but people know who I hang out with.
Okay.
And the words get back to the mayor and the governor. They know that I'm a pretty good guy and I love kids and I do what I do. And many people came to me, either drop the relationship that you have with GO or the NRA, or you're probably not going to get any money from the mayor or the governor. And again, they always say, well, they're the cause of the problem of the violence and gang violence in this city. And why would you even support them? And my take on it was, you're not going to tell me who I can associate with and who I can't. I believe in Don. He's a good friend. Anytime I needed something, Don was there with toys, fundraising for me. We came to a common ground. It's about the kids. It's about saving the kids. It's about educating the kids. So I will work with anybody that's willing to help save our kids and educate our kids on guns and gang violence. So I stuck with Don, and I told him, well, I'm not going to drop a man that I believe in and I trust, and we become good friends. I'll continue to do what I do, working 2 jobs to support my own program and to do what I can for these kids. So I lost a lot of friends. Well, if they was friends, they would stick with me from day one. Yeah. But because I took a stand, and I'm the type of person that I'm not going to rubber stamp anything. I'm going to find out the truth, see if you're legit, and, do my own research. And if it is true, legit, I'm going to stick with you. And I stuck with Don because he's always was honest and truthful. I've been honest and truthful with him. And like I said at the banquet, it's my integrity and character. I'm not dropping Don or anybody because they want me to, because they have an issue with these organizations. So I do what I do, and I keep moving.
Well, listen, Reverend, I can't thank you for all that you do. It's my belief that in order for these communities around the country to break this cycle of gang violence, you've got to provide something that will replace the structure of the gangs that compel these hurt individuals to join them, these damaged individuals to join them in the first place, and that's you've got to create a community that's stronger than the gangs, and it sounds like that is exactly what you were trying to do: create a community that is strong enough not only to stand up to the gangs, but a community that is strong enough that it is going to be a better option than the gangs.
Oh, most definitely. And I think getting them out of the city, and I know Mr. Wallace has invited me to bring some kids to, the camp or whatever. They have the big bonfire and fishing, because a lot of our inner city kids don't have that opportunity to leave the inner city and see, to go out there and listen to the quietness, the peacefulness. All they hear is ambulance, sirens, gunshots. So they don't have that opportunity. But when you take kids out from the environment into a new environment and they teach them new things, their behavior begins to change. Their attitude begins to change. Their thinking begins to change. So we can have more police on the street. We can have more programs in our community center. But if young people doesn't change their thoughts, their mind, they'll continue to do what they do. They'll find a way to do it. But if we take them out of the environment and give them something different and meet new people and learn new cultures and new things about life, it will begin to change these young people's minds.
Absolutely. Well, Reverend, again, I'm so pleased we're able to have you on the program. I want to have you back very soon, but in the short time that we have left here, does Operation Project Go have a website? I mean, how can folks learn more? How can folks help out?
They can. I do have an email. I'm just setting up my website. Some young folks are redoing my website. They don't like the one I got, so they're redoing it. But my email address is operationprojectgo@yahoo.com. They can get me that way, and I can send out information, the history of it, and some of the programs that we're running.
All right, Reverend, thank you again, and come back on the program very soon, will you?
Oh, definitely. I definitely will. I thank you for the invite.